You can go fuck yourself because
they all sat in a basement and shit in buckets, and then they all got high, and they didn't edit. They didn't proof. Their moms didn't come down and proof it for them.
Welcome back to Spin Dash, the podcast that will tuck you in at night and tell you you're special. I am your host, Matt. With me this week, the sweet piece of ass that I rescued from Hades. Let's give it up for John.
I like that you almost said PETA because that fits, in our theme for this game.
I don't even know what that means.
PETA? We're playing Greek game, right? And PETA?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't PETA Greek?
What are you drinking? What are you?
Well, guys, I am drinking a Boda Box, and it is a Red Volution. I think it's a nice blend. It pairs well with my microwavable dinner tonight.
You're a fancy bitch. You are a fancy bitch.
Always and forever.
Also with me tonight, this dick that tried to sell me a bracelet, and then when I couldn't make change, took all my shit. Let's give it up for Nick.
Hey-yo. Take all your shit.
Nick, how are you?
Oh, tired. Very, very, very tired.
Well,
I haven't slept good in the last 2 nights. But that's what it means to be a dad, I guess.
So, before we started this, I warned you that I was going to be very dickish during this. So,
hey, you said you're pretty much going to anal rape us.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? I learned something years ago in track, so I want you to help me with this. It's the first ever on this podcast. I want you to help me visualize success. So, can you stand up right now? I want you to stand up right now.
Which one of us are you talking
just
to?
Nick.
Okay. Standing.
All right. And I want you to imagine that it's your anniversary and Nicole's got this really nice dress on and you want to grab her ass. Both hands. You imagine that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now grab your ass, the same firmness that you would grab her ass. You doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Now sit on your hands. Are you doing it? Still grabbing?
Okay.
Still grabbing? All right, ready? Don't let go of your ass for the next 2 fucking hours. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your mic. I'm not editing this fucking thing. Do not let go of your ass. Told you I was feeling.
Oh man,
I was feeling dickish. So let's get right into it. What do you guys been up to first? Any good stories? Did you do anything dumb lately?
No. Well, no.
Damn it.
Bought a house. It's the only thing I've ever done dumb.
Yeah, nothing.
I'd like to say it's been a while since I've seen you both, but it was like last weekend.
I mean, that was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
John was at the height of dumb last weekend. I'm surprised. So we did an escape room, and John, I'll let you tell this, and then we can talk about the restraining order that they're going to have to get on you shortly.
So every year in November, Matt's wife's birthday falls on Veterans Day weekend. And my dad is a veteran, so I go up, and I usually spend the weekend with him doing whatever we like to do. And I will make an appearance at his wife's birthday in some capacity. A couple times I've just shown up and said, hey. And one time I made them bring out this weird cake for her, and it was hilarious. This year I wanted to take it up a notch. So I knew that they were doing an escape room. I didn't know when, I didn't know where. So I made some phone calls. I tried to conspire with another friend of ours, and he's kind of stealthy, so he helped me out. And I found out where it was and when it was. So I went in early and I talked to the owners there, and they laughed their asses off at my plan, which was to hide in the escape room and scare people. And the owners were trying to create props for me and trying to figure out the best spot. And so we came up with a plan, and my target was Matt's wife, and our mutual friends kind of set me up. He told me what shoes she'd be wearing because I was hiding under a table, with a cloth over it. And they got in there, and they were in there for about 5 minutes looking around, getting their bearings. And he had her come over to the table to help him solve this logic puzzle. And her feet were right there, and I reached out and I yelled and I grabbed her ankles. And I'm pretty sure her and like 3 other people screamed because only 2 of us knew about it.
Definitely Abby did, because Abby didn't have a damn clue.
Nope.
Oh, that was
So I apologize if your future child comes out a little jumpy. But it was kind of going to be that way anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's just genetics. I mean, my kid now is freaking crazy, so I don't even know what I'm going to get the second time around. That's just terrifying.
Right.
Yeah, what? Your kid only eats bread, not toast?
Oh my God, we're in this like non-eating phase. It drives me up the wall. I want bread. I want you to eat a fucking breakfast. That's what I want. This kid wants prison rations. It drives me crazy. I want what?
It should
saves you $1 or $2.
You should be happy. Yeah, exactly. You're cheap ass.
Well, no, it's like, I prepared you a fruit platter and some waffles, and I want bread. Fuck you, kid. Nick, I didn't ask you. Are you drinking anything tonight? John's got wine. I didn't ask you.
Just doing water tonight, just because the kid, like, said sick, and I gotta be full alert because last night she woke up at 10:30 p.m. I literally just fell asleep for probably 15 minutes, and
that's pretty rough.
I tried to put her back to sleep, couldn't go back to sleep. We actually ultimately made a decision, like, F it, we need to get sleep, so we got her in bed, got her with us, and just let her get comfortable to the point where she fell asleep.
Yeah,
and it's not as easy as just like, hey, okay, fine, we'll just NyQuil up for the night and just go to bed. You can't do anything. You just pretty much all they can do is with a kid is just let them cough.
Let them cough.
And it sucks.
Yep. Parenting, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm doing the wine. I'm doing the wine thing too, just like John. I think it's like
bitches.
Well, it's the Mediterranean theme we're going on tonight. Once we get into it.
Let's stop there, by the way. The only Mediterranean person actually in this group is me.
Well, you're...
Do we know that for sure?
I am 100% positive, seeing as my ancestors all date back to Italy.
I'm going to need to see that. Okay. I'm going to need to see the ruling on that.
You two need the Ancestry DNA test.
See, I don't know if I need it. So here's the thing, right? I'm drinking wine out of a beer mug. And the reason why I'm drinking it out of a beer mug... is I know I can't do a podcast without like talking with my hands flailing around. It's like, well, at least if I've got a beer mug, I'm less likely to knock over a bunch of red wine in my office, and then I'd get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
So
you're French.
Yeah, that's the problem. So.
Oh, you guys, my percentage went up. So I went back on Ancestry and I checked it. It went up. So they fine tune your DNA results as they learn more and more things come in. And I officially hit the 50% Irish mark. So I am very thankful.
So that must be 50%. That must get from both sides, your mom and your dad.
Yep. A little bit on mom, mostly dad.
Is it from? Did you do 4 over 21 or not 4 over 21? That's a brand. Was it something 23?
Yeah, I buy all my outfits. No, I did Ancestry DNA because of their database that they have for other information. So like all their records and that stuff. You got to pay for it, but 1 month, you pay for it for 1 month and you just hammer it out and you get what you need. So.
See, I want to do the 23andMe because they do, I guess they go as far as like where you're from, but also characteristics you might have about yourself.
Oh, yeah. They have another site you can do that on called Prometheus.
Prometheus?
And it gives you a report about your DNA makeup. So you can do that for $10 and it tells you what you're predisposed to, what you might be likely to get, like baldness or arthritis or that type.
Predisposed to being a bitch at side scrollers. Does that show up on Ancestry or do I need to go to 20?
It did, way down. I had to check. There was in a special section.
Is it like you're genetically predisposed to only play RPGs? That's like it?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, John. It's all side scrollers pretty much at this point.
Yeah. So, what have you guys been playing? Anything play anything? You pick up anything? You guys been sitting on your asses? Anything new?
You guys are going to laugh at me what I've been playing a lot lately.
Oh, no.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Actually, I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Oh,
They revamped it so you can actually do a lot more in it, so I've been having fun with that. And they just got confirmed that they'll let PvP.
But you still have to walk.
Yes.
No, I want to sit on my couch and catch Pokemon.
Then play Pokemon game. Play Pokemon. Actually, was the new Pokemon game coming out? Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah.
That's for you, Matt.
That's right.
But, oh wait, it's on a Switch. So
Yeah.
gotta make it drop that bill.
2Po. I'm already buying. I'm already at my max this cycle.
You're gonna be at your max next month too.
Oh, next month I'm gonna go crazy. Next month's a birthday month.
I don't know what. Maybe we should raise the price on that Wii for you then.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, and this is I'm going to touch on why I want this Wii later on, because I'm going to go on a big rant about Nintendo and how they pissed me off. But but my pickups, Ninja Gaiden 2, because you can't just have just one, you have to have 1, 2. I can't afford 3. I bought Metroid. I bought a PS1 on a whim, but I have no games for it because I hit my max budget. So now I got to sit and wait. I have this PS1 that's just sitting there doing nothing.
Oh man, which Metroid did
First
you buy?
one, NES.
Nice. I've never played.
You bitched about this game that we're going to talk about later on. Like that game would put you over the top. You'd be convulsing.
I like Metroid. I'm used to Metroid. I'm not used to this thing that you. I'll get into my pet names for it later. But yeah.
Oh God,
John, have you been playing anything, or have you just been?
No, nothing for me. Birthday month coming up, winter. We've been a little busy.
Yeah. So,
yeah, with different life circumstances. But I plan on settling down this winter, and my birthday month might lead to a Switch or a DS or something like that. Yeah.
Go DS.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I might do both, so we'll see.
Ooh, big spender, spender.
Well, I figure I can get a DS used. We'll see.
Now, are you doing just a DS or are you doing a 3DS?
I'm not sure. There's a good deal with this guy I've been talking to for a Game Boy Advance SP.
Those are good.
Yeah, so I might do that. But I still have the Wii all homebrewed, and I just haven't sat down to play it in a while because, yeah.
Yep.
So anyone pick up it? I mean, Matt, we already know what you pick up. So, John, you haven't picked up anything recently?
No, nothing for me.
So let's see. When we last left off, I had
what about you?
PS2, which I got a yard sale. A Wii, which I got a yard sale, which I'm going to selling to Matt. And I think my latest find actually is a free find, and it's a old school Xbox, the OG,
the Jerome Bettis.
It was at my local dump, just right there in the pile where people take stuff, and I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
Did you fire it up?
I have not touched it yet.
Does it have all the cables and everything?
Comes with cables, everything.
Oh, right on.
Just don't have any games for it, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just buy a game at Goodwill, but Goodwill's asking like $10 for some games. I'm like, really?
Oh man,
Bull Moose isn't bad.
Let me hook you up. Yeah, I'll hook you up, Nick. Next time I see you, I got a few left over.
Yeah, well, I picked that up. I think that's the other one. Actually, probably the biggest thing sort of for news. So every year, which Matt, thank you so much for your donations. I do Extra Life. It's a charity where pretty much we raise money for sick kids. I chose my local hospital, but pretty much, we raised our team goal, got to past 2,000. This is probably the first year though I unfortunately got under $200, which means no t-shirt for me. Boo-hoo.
Aww.
But yeah, we played video games. So I played Quackshot, I think, for a good solid hour, which I think I'd rather play at my own comfort home because it's one of those games that you got to play down and play and just go through. Played some Love Bomberman. I actually did some Twitch play. I have a Twitch, so if guys ever want to take a look, go right ahead.
Now, does that save your videos that you've recorded on there?
Yep.
And how do you record on Twitch? I'm kind of a newbie.
It
to
depends.
This stuff.
In this case, I just use my phone because I don't have a capture device for Sega Genesis. So a lot of people I've seen just use like multiple cameras. Like there's a
off screen,
on off screen, and just has it so it's zoomed in directly onto that, and we'll share that video.
Okay, yeah.
Like I've seen people just use an old iPhone and just have it be attached to a tripod.
So I have an idea for next year for you. I'd even partake in this next year. This is my thinking. You ought to play terrible games and let people pick them. Because my thinking is like, when someone goes out and runs a 5K, I don't want to give money to a marathon runner to go run a 5K. I want to give money to the fat ass and have them like really suffer when they're doing that 5K. Make sure that the donation really gets there. So, what are your thoughts on like we make a list of terrible games and we all do it?
Well,
and then
how about this?
We got to suffer for that 24 hours, like work for it.
Question for you guys: would you guys want to create our own group?
I mean, I don't want to splinter your group you've got going. I just
honestly, I don't mind.
Marketing wise, I think it would be funny, and I think you could raise some money because people donate money to watch people shave their heads. I mean, I would donate money to watch John play the Immortal.
See, we're gonna have to like have a no kids warning because I'm gonna swear a lot if we do this.
So this year, what we did for Extra Life, because part of the group was my brother-in-law's son, so they did it from between noon and 4 kid hour. Pretty much, where there was kids playing around, which for me it was just really annoying. Like, God, I hope my kids are not this annoying going forward. Just because they were just kids. They were honestly just kids. They're doing their thing. It wasn't like they were actually being annoying. It's just that day I was just already tired and cramped and crabby, and I just wanted to just relax and just play my video games and whatnot. And I had a kid just like, can I play? Can I play? Can I play? Can I play? I'm like, I just turned the thing on, man. I'm playing. Let me play.
You couldn't fool him with the fake second controller, like when we were
all like
really
13.
Classic.
They're all like near in their teen, like become preteens. So
yeah.
And honestly, some of these kids would probably tool on me in the newer games. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Fortnite.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean, I would like to start our own group. If anything for the podcast, and I'd also like set up one TV where we can actually have a camera on it and just do a live Twitch.
Live Twitch of terrible games. Yes.
Yeah.
So long as we can do a 99 live Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah. We can make that the finale. So, the way the concept is, you pretty much start from 8 a.m. that first Saturday of November, and you go till 8 a.m. the Sunday.
We used to do that in college.
Yeah,
exactly. Just raise money as much as we can for the local hospital, for the children's hospital.
Yeah. Let's get something going on that. All right. Well, hey, let's get moving on. Running down the list that I've got prepared. Here's the crinkling paper to show you I'm official. News. Did you guys hear about the Love ROM ruling that just came out?
So what is this?
Do tell.
So there was a site, I think they were based out of Arizona, maybe New Mexico. They were a ROM site, and they were the one that Nintendo went after. $12 million ruling against this ROM site for hosting ROMs. Ooh. Apparently, it wasn't just as simple as they were hosting ROMs and you could download them. Like, they had a lot of Nintendo logos. You could play the ROMs through an emulator on the site with some of the things I was reading. But Nintendo definitely wanted this out there to set an example.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, it's an example. I mean, they wouldn't have this problem, though, if they made a virtual console. Because that's the thing, is a lot of people want to play their old games. Now, granted, I know they're doing all these classics, but the thing is, half the classic titles that they have were not the greatest titles, and some of them are just they have like a couple big names, then they're all no names. It's kind of like the equivalency of going to buy, what is that thing? I bought a Sega paddle for John that I used, and it was like a $10 paddle.
Yeah,
but that one at least had decent games on it.
Yeah, I think the big thing on this is I think you're always going to have piracy in any market where you have entertainment. There's always going to be movie pirates. There's always going to be music pirates. but you notice that piracy was like rampant in music. And then they made it more convenient and they made it cheaper. And I don't know many people that pirate music right now because it's easy to stream. There's just so many different ways to get music now legally that you don't have to pirate. I think the problem with Nintendo is, Nintendo specifically, but a lot of these companies, the emulators out there to play these illegal ROMs are years and years ahead of what Nintendo's doing. I mean, they're just bare bones emulators that maybe can handle like one save state. I mean, they're just so far behind the times. I mean, Nintendo absolutely has a right to go after people that are infringing on its copyrights. But at the same time, like, what do you expect? You make it so difficult to go out and get these games. Of course, someone's going to pirate it.
Yeah. I think that if they could at least start with allowing you an account where if, say, like you buy the Wii and you download all these virtual console games, but then you're stuck because if you upgrade to the Wii U, they don't carry over.
Yep.
So, like, if they had a cloud account for every user, I think that would be convenient. That would definitely incentivize me to do more of that. I mean, I probably spent like
you mean what Sony does?
Yeah.
Or Xbox does? Or sorry, Microsoft does?
Yeah.
They have it so you have all those games. I could pick up an Xbox, sign into all my old accounts, and download all my games that I had previously purchased with them.
Yeah.
And Xbox with the backwards compatibility, and I know PlayStation has some older titles too, but I mean, you can have a library going all the way back. Nintendo kind of like locks you in. Like, that's why I want the Wii. All the WiiWare titles, and then like Mega Man 9, Mega Man 10, I moved all that stuff to the Wii U, thinking that Nintendo would actually have some kind of system that would, kind of a unified system. No, you have to go into the stupid Wii menu and you have to use the Wii controller. You can't use the controller. I mean, it's awful. I'm never going to use it. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to download all these friggin' WADs to Homebrew Wii for titles I already own. I see why people do it because Nintendo makes it really, really hard.
I mean, I see what it is. It's pretty much another Napster thing. It's just to make a point, like you said, obviously, to let them know, hey, we're not messing around. This is what it's going to be if you're going to pirate our product. I get their business model. I get it. I mean, it's the same everywhere you go. So I understand it. But take that into some advice is like, okay, well, we're having people pirate nonstop. Let's get this content out there that they're wanting. Let's get this so they have the ability to play this. The Nintendo Classics or all these classic consoles that they're coming out with, make them so they're upgradable. Make it so it's like, okay, buy this SD card and you can upgrade, have this amount of games onto it, or make it so it's ability to have whatever they want on it, at a cost. You can easily make it so it's, like you said, John, a cloud service. So, okay, you hitch it to the internet and boom, you have all your stuff and you have it and you pay. Or you pay a monthly subscription. Whatever the case, people don't mind paying monthly subscriptions, for God's sakes. We pay it for Netflix. We pay it for Hulu. We pay it for, what is it, DCU now that has one, CW has one. Or we have no problem, obviously, paying for subscriptions if we want the content. So give the content as subscription content,
Yeah, my problem with some of these classic models that they've got going, and to give Nintendo credit, I think Nintendo did a good job with the NES and the SNES. I think they did a good job as far as it's a pretty it represents what the consoles were. It's a pretty good library for what you're paying for. But, I mean, there's other titles that I'd want to play that are expensive that I have no way of getting at. They came out with a listing on the PS1 Classic. What are your thoughts on the library there?
Go Japanese.
John, what are your thoughts?
I haven't looked at it yet. What do we got? Since I'm not much of a PlayStation guy.
I think the big ones they had is they had Resident Evil on there, the director's cut, which is good. They had Metal Gear Solid is another big one they had on there. Final Fantasy VII.
That'd be the one.
I mean, those are the big ones that I think a lot of people. But then they have stuff like Ridge Racer. I know Ridge Racer is a big racing game. Like, where's Wipeout? I feel like that would be a game that I would want to have on PlayStation.
That was a big one. I think they had Twisted Metal on there too, which was okay one as well.
Yeah, that one was pretty fun.
The second one, I probably would have put the second one on, but
yeah,
I mean, none of the EA, or is it EA or Activision? I can't remember, but like, where's Crash Bandicoot? That was
I know why they didn't put that one on there, as well as Spyro.
Yeah, go for it.
Because they're re-releasing both those right now to the PS4. So they're re-releasing Spyro, completely done, and same with Crash Bandicoot. Those are two titles that they're re-releasing to the PS4. So they didn't want to take away from those sales.
But I think that's kind of dumb though, in that, let's say we know those titles are coming out, and maybe it's all timing. I don't know when they're coming out, to be honest with you. Don't you think that if you've got someone who's playing the old Crash Bandicoot on their PlayStation 1 Classic and they get through it and then the new one comes out, they'd be more apt to buy it? Like, that's my argument of like, where's Medieval? That's not on the list. And they're doing a Medieval remake. And Symphony of the Night just came out. So I can kind of see that. That's a big one that I don't know why they don't have on there. Even though they already released they re-released it, I think on PS4. So if there was going to be an N64 mini, what would you guys throw on that?
Let's see. Mario 64.
Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that'd be definitely
Majora's Mask.
Perfect Dark.
GoldenEye.
So here's my question there. Those games are owned by Rare, which Microsoft owns. Do you think Microsoft and Nintendo could come out with some kind of agreement? Or is it a licensing dick contest?
Oh, it'd be a dick contest to see who has a bigger penis.
Like Banjo-Kazooie, Jet Force Gemini, those are all Rare.
Oh, that's brutal, dude. I was going to say Banjo-Kazooie. That was a good one.
What they probably would do, I bet this is what they do. They'd probably give, for those games, they'd probably give a portion of sales for those, just so they can release it and sell it.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, because Nintendo and Xbox both came out with that crossplay announcement, and they kind of both teamed up and basically said, Sony, you're being a bunch of bitches. So, I mean, it's not that they won't work together if the money's right. So, yeah, I'd put Mario Party. I'd put Smash Brothers on it.
Yep. All right, here's a random one. Space Station Silicon Valley.
That is a random one. I never played it.
Woof.
I love that game. It is so weird.
I don't think I ever even played that game.
Yeah, it's funky.
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
I'd throw that on there. I'd like to see Sin and Punishment done in English. I mean, most of it is in English anyways. It's why it's so easy to import and just swap out the back and put it in a 64. I'd like to see them tinker with it. I mean, they did Star Fox 2 on the SNES. Give us something like Sin and Punishment.
I don't even know if I've heard of that.
It's a good shooter game. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
And I don't know. I guess I'm just shuffling through this, but the one mini that I would actually buy, because I have most of these games, or I can get them.
Yeah.
I'll phrase it that way. I'd love to see a Saturn mini. I know Saturn emulation is like really hard. I'd love to see it. I mean, there's games like Panzer Dragoon Saga. It costs like $200 for just a shitty disc.
Yeah, I don't get that, man.
So, all right. I think the last thing on my little news tidbits, and then we can move on to the game. Detective Pikachu. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
It's just, I think, just like you said, we talked about earlier, is just like Deadpool. What? Because that's the thing it's weird because I know it's supposed to be it's actually a Pokemon like license and whatnot. So it's just weird because you're hearing Deadpool on there, and it feels like because with his sense of humor, and for those that don't know, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu. So it just throws you off so much. It just I don't know. I mean, It's like adult got a hold of it, pretty much.
So I'm going to take an opposite stance and say I'm actually kind of interested in it. I don't know if I'd watch it in a theater. I'd rent it.
Oh yeah, I definitely rent that one. I love Ryan Reynolds' weird, quirky interjections into movies. I think it's great.
Oh, the thing with him and Mr. Mime. I mean, I was laughing at that. That was funny.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen the mashup where they take out Ryan Reynolds' voice and they put in Danny DeVito from It's Always Sunny? Have you seen that?
Oh man, that's great. No,
he's walking through the street going, "Rum ham." He gets a botch job. He's talking about he clipped his toe.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's great.
Oh man. All right. Anything else before we dive into the game? I'm going to skip a couple things on the list and just move on.
Okay.
All right. Let's get into our game. I'm getting antsy.
All right.
Don't make this quick and painful.
So the game this week was Battle of Olympus for NES. I love this game. You both, from our text back and forth, did not seem to like it as much as me.
The opposite of love.
So, any experience with this game before?
I love the game. This came from the pits of hell.
So, any experience with this game before I brought it up?
I'd never even heard of it before you brought it up.
Ah, it's so sad.
So, I have a community at work where they're very geek. That's actually what they're called, the geeks. And I was like, hey, have you guys heard of this game? My friend wants me to play it. I'm like, what is it? I'm like, it's an NES game. I know that. And that's about it. I did no research. Literally, as soon as you mentioned it, I just brought it up to them. And everyone's like, well, yeah, it's pretty much one of the best clones of Zelda 2. I'm like, oh, okay, well, Zelda 2 was a meh game. Like, I could probably peter through this and do pretty well. Yeah, I played it for 3 minutes and I threw the controller and walked out of the room. I do not rage quit. I have never rage quit a game in my life, ever. But I actually rage quit this game. Those fucking moblins, goblins, whatever the fucking little things that throw the spears are horrible. And it's no.
So, John, you had no history with it either.
No, and much to your chagrin, I don't go circle jerk in old forums, so didn't have any knowledge of this game. However, I do see the likeness to Zelda 2, but Zelda 2, I think I may have played like 5 minutes of when I was a kid. If I had played 5 minutes of this as a kid, I would have cried and wanted to go home.
So this was in my uncle's collection. So I had this at my grandmother's. I would play this. I never got anywhere. I made it. I think I got the sword was as far, and we'll get into that later. That was as far as I ever got. So when I started collecting NES games, like, well, I've got to have this game. And I sat down, I'm like, I'm going to actually beat this game. I'm going to sit down and finally beat it. And when I was in the middle of that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make these assholes play this game. I liked it before. I like it even more now. I've bumped my rating up on it.
Why? Please. I'd like to hear why and how.
I think it's a well-made game. I think the game is. It's hard. It's hard, but I mean, everything that's wrong with Zelda 2, this game fixes. Yeah. So, small backstory on this game. There's really not much to it. Game was released in 1988 in Japan, 1989 in America. It was a 3-person team that worked on this game. Only 3 people.
It shows. It really shows.
It does.
You can go fuck yourself because
they all sat in a basement and shit in buckets And then they all got high, and they didn't edit. They didn't proof. Their moms didn't come down and proof it for them.
How did they not proof it?
They didn't get high. If they got high, maybe this game would have some enjoyability out of it.
All right, so I'm going to challenge you right there on that. Okay, in Zelda, you have a guy that says, "I am error. I am error." You're going to tell me that was proofed? Go play Castlevania 2. The people all fucking lie to you. You can't beat the game without a guide.
Okay, all right, I take that back. They did proof it. They didn't have the logic proofed. Why do you talk to so many people that tell you stupid shit?
All that shit's important. All of it's important.
Oh my
path.
God.
There is no path at all. Like, unless you had experience with the game, or you watched someone play it and somehow stumble upon, or you had a guidebook to this game, there is no direct path. There's no way to even know where to go. And I literally open up a game like, okay, you need to go this place. Okay, so I went to that place. Well, you need to go this place. Okay, so I go back. Oh, you need to go this place. I'm like, where do I need to go? Just tell me where to go. Show me where to go, and I'll go there.
How did you ever get through Metroid?
I never actually played the original Metroid.
Oh, okay.
Because there's not 97 bad guys every 3 screens in Metroid.
That's true. I thought I was in a safe zone. I thought I was like, oh, I'm in a town. I should not die here. I could just talk to people. No, walk out, fucking snake.
No,
it's walk out, friggin' what is it?
There's fucking galloping wood nymphs. Yeah. There's I'm going to come through, and then it's like, oh, I'm a high-speed wood nymph. And then I'm going to jump right when you swing at me. Like, dude, that sword, they start you out like raw dog in this game, man. It is so brutal. I've never played a game where it just destroys you from the start like this.
So I'll give you that. I'll give you starting out is hard, and you have no range on your weapon. That's the other thing that I think makes this game tough. Like you're up close and personal.
You might as well be swinging your friggin' dick. Seriously. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, even if you're trying to hit someone, you can't. Like, I literally went, like, was the galloping, like, it was a goat or something. I can't remember.
What are those guys called?
Satyrs.
Satyr, that's it.
Yeah, yep.
Like, you couldn't move. You can't move. Or if you moved from one spot, like, you move a couple inches, like, up on a screen, and you're like, okay, I'll just mash out the attack button. Nope. Because the hit detection on it sucks balls.
The hit detection is flawless.
You have to time it.
No,
you got time.
Nowhere near flawless.
I think you guys grew up on Genesis and grew up on Super Nintendo. You guys got spoiled a little bit. You guys didn't have to work through some hard shit.
Dude, I played.
Okay, grandfather from the Depression.
Yeah. Let me tell you about some Mega Man or some Castlevania. Let's talk. So, I don't know. I think you guys are I knew that we were in trouble on this one. When
I
John,
will admit.
You were texting me earlier on. You're like, the guys with the spears are really fucking me. I'm like, oh boy, you're really going to get fucked later on.
I will admit that I am soft at video games. Yes.
I expected more out of Nick, though. I'll be honest, Nick. I expected a lot more out of you. I knew John was not like he was in a rage quit before he got.
I'm like, at first, let's be honest. I was like, okay, I can deal with this. And honestly, it was the wood nymphs that really got to me. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Okay, because I'm like, okay, I'll just go in here. Oh, okay, I'll go in here. I literally got stuck to the point where I'm like, where do I go? I've been to every place here. Where is there to go? Like, I was like,
you got to talk to people. You got to
talk to everyone, and I don't have the patience in this point of my life to talk to every fucking backwatered friggin' Greek that's in the game just for them to tell me where to go. Oh, go talk to this person. Okay, no, don't give it. Where the fuck do I go?
Like, couldn't have they given you some health or some interesting items in the houses? I mean.
No.
All you did was talk to people and like, you need to go to Persephone and then talk to blah, blah, blah. Like, what?
But did you go to Persephone and talk to blah, blah, blah?
I went everywhere but Persephone, man. Like, I think I got
where the fuck was Persephone?
Stuck.
Where the fuck was she?
All right. Well, let's go through the game. We'll find out how far you made it. and maybe I can regale you in a story on how to beat this game, which I did on an actual console. No cheating. So you start off. Well, first of all, you know the backstory to the game as far as what it's based on?
No.
Crickets. Based on the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. Basically, your girlfriend gets bit by a snake, gets taken to Hades. It gets taken to hell. You got to go bring her back from Hades. That's all the story is. So you start off, it gives you a spot to enter in your hero name and your heroine name. I entered in me, and then my heroine was you, John, just so you know.
You do like doing that, and I'm not offended.
So here's the best part. It doesn't give you enough letters because I was going to do Vag John, and it only gives you 6 spaces. So the first time it was Vag John, I had to go back and restart it and make it just John.
Vag John.
So I did it as John. Nikki was like, I knew it. She's like, I knew it. You two have something, and it's really weird. She's like,
my wife can confirm that I don't do that. So I think you still harbor some unrelented feelings.
I think so. I have to save you, John.
Lustful feelings.
That's right. So you start off in Arcadia, and John, if you walked around long enough or talked to people, I think you'd know to go to Zeus. Did you go talk to Zeus?
Oh yeah. Zeus was my homie. He didn't hook me up with anything, but that's okay. Because it was all right.
So Zeus basically, you got to fight a bull outside. I'm not really sure why you got to fight a bull, but it was really easy. But Zeus basically tells you, look, heard your story from Aphrodite. I'm going to ask all the other gods to help you out. And then you get set loose on your adventure. So John, from there, do you remember where you went?
Yeah, I went to, was it Attica?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're in the mountains, and then you go in the town, and then you drop down. So the step, I like the steps feature. That was nice. Because you might not see them at first, and then the different levels, that made it a little nicer because you just didn't have to strictly side scroll. But it was challenging when you're dropping down because there could be a bunch of those little jumpers waiting for you. But yeah, you go there, and then you go to the right to talk to Athena, right?
Yeah. So you go all the way through Athens, and then you talk to Athena. Athena goes and gives you the shield. So you need the shield to block the arrows that little spear guys throw. If you duck, it'll block it. And you need that to fight the Lamia, which I think actually is the hardest boss in the game. Either of you, Nick, did you get that far? Did you any chance you get to her?
I didn't even get to Athena.
Let it be known that this day in our podcast was the lowest of the low.
I think we hit rock bottom. So basically half snake, half woman. She throws a bunch of arrows at you, shoots a bunch of arrows. You have to time it, jump over the arrows and hit her. She's a real bitch. You don't have a whole lot of health at the time. So it's like you got to time it. You kill her, and you rescue a kid. I think a lady's kid got kidnapped. You rescue the kid. John, did you get this far yet or no?
No, I gave it my 4 best tries, and then I decided to watch a fine young gentleman play through the rest of the game.
He YouTubed it.
Yeah.
John, you've hurt me. You hurt my soul.
Hey man, I tried. If I had a little more time, and if we might have been together. See, on these tough games, I think that there should be a collaboration night somehow where we can get together.
It would be me doing all the work, and you just be like, fuck this shit.
I would try.
All right. So
peer pressure and liquid confidence do help me a lot. You know that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll pick another hard game for you. We'll test you out.
All right.
So after you go and you fight the Lamia, you get the Staff of Fennel. It doesn't work. So you have to go to Argolis and talk to Hermes. And you got to go in there and you got to fight the lion and rescue, the hell is his name? Prometheus.
Yeah, rescue a Titan.
Yeah, well, you got to rescue him because he gives you the ability to shoot fire.
Interesting.
And that's when the game really gets easy, because when you got the club, you can't do anything. But when you get the staff and you get the fire, you shoot fire out of the staff.
It's a ranged weapon, baby.
It arcs downward. So all those little guys with the spears that you're having a headache with, like, it's easy to kill them. Like, that is the most useful weapon in the game. While you're there, you can talk to Hermes. There's some guy that's chilling out in Hermes' place. He's like, yeah, Hermes went to go see Zeus. Get out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, who the fuck is this dick?
Yeah, it's some dwarf-looking dude.
A lot of the guides tell you that you can go out and drop into a pit and just start killing salamanders to get their skins. You need them later on to get a shield. That's a huge waste of time, and it's too hard until you get the sandals. So I came back for that. But none of that means anything to you two Dudleys that did nothing on that.
Did you just call out my dog as being dumb?
I went there.
Ooh, I'm going to have to tell him that.
The last podcast,
John,
you said,
congratulations on his graduation.
Oh, yeah, thanks. My dog is...
How much that cost you?
My dog is smarter than me.
your dog could beat this game.
Right? You probably could. I don't know, $80 maybe?
So keep going, Matt. Regale us onto this horrible game.
You guys missed out on the sandals. The sandals were fucking cool.
Is that the one that makes you jump higher?
You can jump higher with them, and if you hold down the button after you jump, you can walk on the ceiling.
I saw that. Yeah, that looks pretty trippy.
So all the time you're like, oh, the guy with the spears, they're pissing me off. You could run on the ceiling and not have to deal with them.
Man.
Actually, to go back to the spear guys, Nikki fucked me because Nikki fell asleep. But when I fired it up the other night when you were bitching about it, I was going to have her help me record a video of me just like killing slimes as they dropped out of the trees. Like, fall, kill, fall, kill, fall, kill. And just send that to the chat and be like, oh, you're whining about the slimes, John. You ain't got nothing.
So I did go back and I did play and I got better at that. So I could do that. But, what's her name? The one that shoots the bow and arrow at you, I couldn't beat her. That definitely hung me out to dry. I was good up until that point. I could get to her without sustaining a whole lot of damage.
So you haven't even got deep into the shit yet. You haven't even hit
but the shit looks good, man. I mean, this guy that was playing it, that I lived vicariously through, really knew what he was doing. I mean, the timing and everything, man. I bet he's played several times through this whole game. Because he knew what was up.
Yeah. So after you go, and after you've killed the lion and you've got the staff, you've got the ability to shoot fire, you can burn down bushes. So you go to Peloponnesus, which is the forest. Did you see the part where he's in the forest?
Yes.
So that one as a kid always confused me because there's 3 different screens. And depending on what the screen is, the forest kind of changes its tint a little bit.
That forest looks trippy.
Well, the big thing about the game is you go in and out of doors, and depending on which door you go in, it takes you pretty much to another door. It kind of gives you this pseudo 3D kind of thing. I'm trying to think of another game that does something like that. Rambo, maybe. Anyway, you're in the forest. You got to kill the Hydra, and that's how you get the sword. Hydra's easy. You just stand on the bridge. When it jumps at you, hit it in the head, and it goes poof, dead.
Yeah, the Hydras are really stupid.
They're really easy. There's there's a dragon and a Hydra, but they're the same sprite. Like one flies and one just jumps out of the pond at you.
Yeah, they didn't look too bad.
No, not too bad. I think it tells you somewhere, but if you hit a tree, you can get more health. The ambrosia drops down. You can get more health. Okay. And then you fight a Cyclops, and that takes you over to Laconia. Laconia fucking sucks. I'm going to tell you right now, Laconia fucking sucks. That's where you get the picture. You can get health. And this is the thing that Rory made fun of me, and I think I called her an asshole in the last podcast, and I'm going to continue to call her an asshole. If you want to get the ocarina, you have to get Poseidon 60 olives, which you collect. That's another thing I mentioned. Olives are currency in this game.
They don't look like olives. They look like what's that medicine called? Yeah, they look like a little pill.
You're just dealing drugs to the Greek gods.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've read enough mythology, you know they're just banging each other, incest, eating each other. I mean, it kind of makes sense. They probably were on drugs.
Yeah, you needed that.
Yeah, so once you're here, you get Poseidon to do your stuff. You can kill another Cyclops. I'm just speeding through this because this means absolutely nothing to you two.
I did watch it. Give me some credit.
I did put in the effort to watch a video. Once you get the ocarina, you can call up dolphins. So you can go to the island, you kill a siren.
You look like you were fucking a dolphin too, by the way. When you're on a dolphin, you just everything humps everything else in this game. It's really funny.
That's kind of like when you're riding.
How do you think you get the dolphin to go?
Yeah,
you just gotta hump it over. Get over on that island. You fight her. You've got a harp. Every time she does her little siren-y thing, you play the harp. She shuts up. Kill her. You go and you kill a bunch of Grey-E or whatever the hell you pronounce it. And that gives you the eye, which I can't actually remember what I needed the eye, but there was a reason why. Where the fuck did I go after this? Oh, I think you need the eye to open hidden doors. That's what it is. You go back to Argolis, and then you find the hidden door, and then you rescue a nymph, and that gives you the first heart. And then the idea of the game is you got to get these 3 hearts. Once you get all the hearts, you get the message to help find you, John. So
do you actually need the hearts?
Yes, you need 3 hearts to progress through the game.
So that has to unlock something. It's not just like a clue where you could skip over it.
No, you have to have them. In my notes, I have it as Sexy John's message is how I have this in my notes.
I do write pretty well to you when I want to.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I miss you. I love you. Blah, blah, blah. Come save me. She doesn't. I don't think she actually tells you anything of any value.
You inspire my soliloquies.
Yeah. So the next place, after you go and you rescue the nymph, you go all the way back to Attica, talk to the rich guy. I think he opens the way for you to get to Pythia, I think, which is the mountain area. Did you see anything on this when you're watching the video with the monkeys?
The monkeys are insane. They just kamikaze the shit out of you.
So fuck this place. So this is like, this is where the game starts to get into the shit. Like you guys were bitching about the guy throwing the arrows, and I'm like, no.
Oh, no.
You guys,
they have the birds dropping the rocks and the monkeys flinging their butts at you. Man, that looked crazy.
This place sucked. Like, this is the few times that I rage quit and walked away. And I got this far as a kid. This is pretty much where I ended as a kid. I'm like, no, fuck this. I'm done. So the whole goal here is you got to go get the divine sword. Basically, it's a sword that shoots lightning bolts. But to get through this...
just like Zelda's sword?
Yeah, for right now, until you get the bracelet, which I'll talk about later, it actually hurts you to use it. Even when the game gives you something, it's still a dick about it, which I like. Good for it.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's kind of like... A lot of Nintendo games were like that, though, or even some of the fighter games. So, what was it? Like, I think Street Rage or something like that. That side-scroller fighter, where if you use the special attack, it also hurt you.
Yep. Yeah. Here you have to go. There's a centaur you can fight. Fuck that. I just ran by it. It was too hard.
Dude, he was jumpy.
I take that back. He was probably the hardest boss in the game for me, and I gave up. I just ran by him. That was the only way I could deal with this guy, just not fight him. Because
that's what I did too. I mean, that's what that guy did too.
That's what you did too.
He really did live vicariously through the guy.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He didn't fight that thing either, man.
You open the door, I want to say you rescue a second nymph.
Yep.
And then you get Sexy John's message part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. You fight a dragon, you get an apple. I can't remember what the apple does. I think it reduces the amount of damage you take, which is extremely helpful.
What's the deal with the jug? The health jug? Is that it fills up the more people you kill?
No, so the jug, it's like streams or fountains. There's certain places you fill it up, and you can use the jug to replenish your health.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the jug is a big deal. And the game is actually kind of a dick, too. I was thinking about this because I would use the jug, die, and then hit retry. So when you die, which you do a lot, it gives you the option to continue or retry. I want to say continue takes you all the way back to where you died and you keep all your stuff. Retry, and I may have this flipped, retry takes you back to... where you entered the last zone, but it cuts your olives in half. So all this shit is like, the whole point of the game is you gotta like grind and get olives to buy stuff. Who's peeing?
That was me filling up my wine glass.
John, you're like a Greek god. Was that god Bacchus? I think
Bacchus, yeah, the god of wine.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't
Bacchus.
find this in college.
The wine or the game?
The wine.
Yeah, wine's good.
Wine is tasty, man.
After this, you go from Pythia, which is a piece of shit, to Laconia, which is kind of meh. You take the Pegasus to Crete. Crete was a huge dick. My notes have this as fuck this place part 2.
Right? So wait, my question though, in my playthroughs, I tried Pegasus a few times, but it seemed to be you had to do it at a certain point, and then it would fly you away.
Yeah, so you can only use the Pegasus at the sun statues, and depending on it'll jump you from sun statue to sun statue. There's like one in Argolis. There's one in, I think there's one in everywhere but Arcadia. Now that I think about it, I don't think there's one in Attica.
Hindsight, you needed to write down what everybody told you because they would tell you these things.
Everyone in this game, you do not need a guide. And that's one thing I like about this game is like when you play Castlevania 2, everyone tells you shit and it's useless. This game, you actually can get through this game without a guide if you write down everything everyone says. Like they do not try to trick you.
I would have tried harder on this game if they had just given you like things you could hit with your sword that would give you stuff. Right? Like objects, not bad guys, not infinite bad guys that just replenish and just overrun you. Because that's what I felt like happened in the beginning. It was too much. So they started you off too hard in this game. Like the build-up was weird.
Yeah, it was just that's pretty much what happened to me. It's just like okay. Like first it was like, oh, okay. Oh, what the fuck? Whoa. Like it came to a point like you cannot stop in the game. You had to keep on moving forward. If you stop, you get fucked.
That's the old Mega Man trick. If you get hit by stuff, don't stop because you're just gonna keep getting raped. Keep going. It's old school. I gotta educate you guys. Yeah, it was tough. The startup of this game was really tough. Until you get that staff, it is kind of hard. Like getting past that Lamia was a real bitch. Yeah, but I feel like once you get past her, the midsection of the game is actually kind of easy. It's when you end up in like Pythia and Crete and Phrygia, I think is how you pronounce it.
I think it was the monkeys when I was play watching. That guy did have a little trouble with the monkeys.
They sucked. And the problem with that place is the birds are out there dropping rocks. So you can't stop moving. You've got to constantly, like, you got time. You want to keep the monkey where it is, but you want to make sure you're dodging the rocks. I can't remember if it does it in this game or if I'm thinking of some other game, but as you go on, I want to say the damage gets upped. Like, depending on, like taking a rock from early on doesn't do as much damage as it does later in the game. I might be imagining that. But at any rate, we get the dolphin that you hump all the way to Crete. And fuck this place part 2. So there's a couple things you can do here. You can get the power bracelet. And the power bracelet basically makes it so when you do use your sword and you shoot the lightning bolt, it doesn't hurt you. You get it from Ares. And my notes tell me that Ares is a fucking dick. So Ares wants 80 olives. If you tell Ares you want to buy the bracelet and you don't have 80 olives, he takes your fucking sandals from you. Like, so you have to go, you have to go all the way back to Zeus, or you like, your jumping is terrible.
And you can only have 99 olives, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess that is a criticism. That's what stops this game from being a pure 100, and it brings it down to like a 95 in my book. It is a little grindy. Like, it takes a while to get the olives, to get the salamanders you need to make the salamander shield, which reflects fire. Like, it takes a bit. Crete's a huge pain in the ass. And I can't imagine getting through Crete without the sandals. Like, after he takes your sandals, I don't know really what you do, just die. Because I couldn't kill any of the two girls that kind of surround you and throw boomerangs at you or whatever they do. There's like these two Amazons that come and attack you in Crete. And Crete's a big maze, like in the mythology. I spent a lot of the time like running along the ceiling, just dodging and jumping people.
Yeah.
But that place, I'll be honest, it's NES. It's NES style. If you had the time, you could map out where every door takes you. Like this pink screen takes me to the green screen, takes me to the blue screen. I used a guide at that point. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to measure that out. So the goal is to get to the Minotaur. Did you see anything with the Minotaur?
I did not.
So Minotaur is probably, I don't know. Minotaur's a huge bitch. I wasn't a fan of the Minotaur. He's basically like the Cyclopses that throw the rocks at you. And you need, I think, 2 of the hearts to get past this like laser beam that blocks him off. You basically just run in and just stab the hell out of him. Hope to God he doesn't kill you before you kill him. And that's, I think, where you get the 3rd heart from Sexy John. And at this point, you've got everything that you need, I think, to go to Phrygia, I think is the last place we haven't gone. My notes say, fuck this place part 3, because this place also sucks. You have these like flying gargoyle things that knock you off platforms. And there's a ton of, I want to say this is the place that has all the big snakes. Did you see the video with the giant snakes?
No, that's scary.
Yeah, these big snakes, and they're a huge pain in the ass. They're like mini bosses, and there's a ton of them. The whole goal of going to Phrygia is to get this moon orb. And this is actually a cool part of the game, is you need the moon orb in order to see Hades when you're fighting him. It's kind of like Zelda 2 throwback. So after you go through all this pain in the ass, you get the moon orb, you go to Tartarus. Tartarus, I want to say, is in between Argolis and Crete. And the first thing you do in there is you fight Cerberus. This kind of speaks to some of the criticisms you guys had, where something goes off screen, it's just like enemies spawn over and over and over. There's like no end to it.
It's insane.
Yeah, so Cerberus, if he runs off screen, all the damage you did to him resets. So you have to keep him in your sight, and you can't just hit him, you have to keep hitting his heads.
Oh, the 3-headed dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that protects the underworld.
Yeah. So you're in Tartarus, and this whole place is this is actually pretty hard. Like you were saying earlier, John, that you wanted to use a password and jump to the end.
Yeah.
And I had a playthrough book as a kid, like a Nintendo Power put out a version that had like a bunch of like Super Nintendo and Nintendo passwords. So I'd jump to the end of the game and just get butt fucked because I wouldn't know what the hell I was doing. Like this part is brutal. There's a section where you have to dodge monkeys jumping on the ceiling, and the timing is like pixel perfect. If you don't, you fall down pits.
Oh my God. You
fight snakes, those same snakes that are back there spitting at you. The Lamia thing that I bitched about earlier?
Oh yeah.
That just is in your way. I mean, that's just a boss that's in your way. You have to get by it. You fight all this shit on the way to Hades. So you get to Hades, where the fight's pretty cool. You need the moon crystal. Flash the moon crystal, and that shows you his shadow. And the screen's pretty cool. I don't know if you watched the video this far, but basically the light shines down on Hades, and you can see your shadow on the bottom of the screen and his shadow on the bottom of the screen. So basically you look at your shadow and you fight him upside down. Like the only way to see him is see his shadow on the bottom.
That is a pretty cool concept, I'll be admit.
It was really cool. And then if you get enough hits on him, he appears and then you can kill him. He's actually kind of hard, but I used my picture on him. And that's it. That's the game.
It's crazy.
Well, Matt, for you, I will give it one more try, and probably will be with John, and we'll probably be drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some good things to take away on this game. I think the art style was really good. I mean, this game was made in 88. And I don't know if you've seen some of the other games. Like, look at Zelda 2. The colors are all shitty and drab.
Yeah, they are.
Like, look back to the original Zelda and Mario. I mean, even those colors are really shitty and drab. It's not until like the later NES that they figured out colors. This game, like, it pops. I don't really know how to explain it. Just the colors that they used.
The variety of the bad guys too, of their moves and everything.
Yeah. And it's 3 people who made this game. Like, one dude programmed it, and he's like, I like Zelda 2. I'm going to program an engine that's similar to it. And it is. And, like, this girl that later became his wife, I think is what I had read. She did all the sprites and all the colors and everything like that. And they had another guy that did the music. That was it.
Wow.
There were 3 people that made this game.
If this game had been more progressive, so if it had started out easier, I would have definitely invested more time into it. But, you know, me and my rage quits, they're kind of, they're more prevalent lately. But
I took in my inner John this time around. I'm sorry.
Was your inner John... Sorry. Was your inner John the thing that made you quit before even reaching the first boss?
Wait, what was that?
You said you took in your inner John this time. Was the inner John speaking to you, telling you to quit before reaching the first boss?
Oh yeah, I just got so aggravated. I'm like, screw this. I actually ended up, you know what I did? I ended up starting to play Sonic Spinball.
That's your go-to.
It is. It is.
It's a good go-to. And everyone else I talked to was like, that's hard. That's like, why would you want to play that? And I just remember the game, and I played it so many times I know what to do. So I can get to like the 4th emerald with ease.
Is that your safe space? Like when things get really bad and dark in your life, you go to Sonic Spinball?
Yeah, pretty much. That's my safe space game.
Super Mario RPG is my safe space game.
Never played it.
What?
Oh.
I had friends that always played it. I never had a chance to play it. Like I was like, oh, hey, let me borrow it. And like, you know, and just never got around to playing it.
That's definitely going to be on our list at some point.
I think so. I think so.
It's just so upbeat, like 90% of the time. All the music and the battles, it's like, it's cake, man. If you want to feel good about yourself, go play that game.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the Square games out there at the time were actually kind of dark. So it's kind of neat that Square teamed up with Nintendo, and it's just a happy game.
It is. It is. Besides like 3 boss fights, that game is very fun and laid back.
They have like, I guess, unofficial sequels, like the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga games.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't have the same charm to me. And maybe it's because I haven't given them enough chance, but there's just something about that Mario RPG, just the way it looks, the way it feels. I don't know. I love it. It's a great game. I got to buy that.
If they don't put Geno in some sort of downloadable content for Smash Brothers on the Switch, man, they're doing it wrong.
That has been like an internet forums for years. Like, when is Geno coming to Smash? And
he was insane.
Yeah.
Or Banjo. Like, why isn't Banjo in that shit?
Well, Banjo's owned by Rare.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to know
that again. Yeah. Nintendo losing Rare. Like, Rare is the only thing that kept the N60. And the N64 would have been a complete and utter flop if it wasn't for Rare. It would have Mario 64 and Zelda. And then PlayStation would have everything else that's good if it wasn't for Rare.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd said on a previous podcast that, you know, and I said, I made the comment something like, you know, in the end, I think the PS1 was the better console. Maybe I should have elaborated on that. The PS1 library completely fucking crushed the N64's library. It's just, it embarrassed it. The N64
so
had
much.
Well,
RPGs,
library, what it did, it went for it. It literally took the chances. Like, okay, we're going to go dark. We're going to not make this console for kids. We're making this for adults. Because if you think about all those games, none of those are for any kid. Resident Evil was pretty much an R-rated game in a sense. So the PlayStation just took it like, you know what? Let's market to the kids or the adults that were kids, and give them their game ability to game back. I mean, that's what the PlayStation did. They just took the game back and gave it to the adults.
When they marketed it, they sat down and they said, who's the target audience we're going after? 17-year-olds. And where they came up with the number 17 was everyone who's a little kid wants to be their big 17-year-old brother. And everyone who's a 30-year-old wishes they were 17 again. So that's the audience. And that's what they did. I mean, you can see it in the games they put on it. So, all right. Things we love, things we hated. John, give us your thoughts. Like, the floor is yours. What were your thoughts?
Well, all right. So in my playthrough, I played
Quotes.
Maybe 3 times in, different spans. And I tried. I started off at the beginning twice, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go find a password and try that. That's even worse, man. The password system on this is...
Oh, yeah.
insane. What other game ever has passwords like this? This is crazy. So that's a rant. That's definitely a drawback. The colors, the flow through, the variety in this game is great. I wish that it had started out a little easier. I would have definitely invested more time in it had it done that. I think that it has a lot of potential, but that initial curve just deters a lot of people. So you only get like the hardcore gamers that I think know what this is and like it and play it. Because guys like me, I don't know if I represent any faction of old retro gamers, but yeah, fuck this one.
So I was thinking about this, like what is my analogy for you? And all I could think of is like, Rudolph, you're kind of like the island of misfit toys. Because like I'm a retro gamer that doesn't like side scrollers. Like I'm a James in the box, We're just on love things.
Yeah, some side scrollers and I get along. I guess I need to be more open, and I think with winter fast approaching up here in the frozen tundra, I will definitely explore more of these as we dwell inside a lot.
Yeah.
So I will become more of a retro gamer from this point on. This game broke me and hurt me in ways I don't really want to talk about without a professional. So
yeah.
I'm gonna open up and we'll start a new chapter here.
I mean, I literally probably played the first 10 minutes. I didn't get to realistically the end of the first level. But just graphics wise, for a Nintendo game, it's spectacular. Honestly, I was really impressed. I thought, like you said earlier, that it did well. It looked a lot better than Mario, looked a lot better than Zelda at the time that it was released. I thought the music actually was really good, and I liked everything about it. It was just the gameplay at the beginning was just too brutal, and it was just like there's no ease, there's no okay, let's take it gently in, show you how to play this game. It was like, okay, you're pretty much starting out you're gonna get raped, and that was it. And at the time also, I just couldn't deal with it. I wasn't in the state of mind to play it. I tried it once, like, you know what, screw this. And unfortunately, I just haven't had time to get back to it. But I'll definitely, listening to you, I'll definitely go give it a shot again.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's me.
I think on my end, my negatives, what I jotted down, the password system. I get it in that they didn't want to pay to have a battery save, but the 0 looks close to the letter O.
That was hard.
Looks close.
Holy shit, that's what fucked me up.
Use color coding or don't have as many fucking letters. Like, why does the password have to be that long and have that many combinations of letters? And if you're going to have to do that because you need that much information in the password, color code them. Like, I'm willing to sit down with 3 colored markers if I know that a 0 is green and a O is blue and a lowercase o is green. Like, I could handle that. But the things are just so similar. The password is brutal. I found it to be grindy, if I had to complain. Like, gathering up all the olives and the fact that if you die, you lose half of them. That's kind of a bitch. Especially when you can only carry 99. So, those places where you're getting like the 80 olives, there's only so much you can do.
You die a lot in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a very die-heavy game. I love the music. I think that was like one of the biggest pros for me. Like the Argolis music, especially, where it's like do 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 do.
And they really did cool. Like a higher and a lower, and they tried to match it, but it got a little distorted. I thought it was funny that they like maximized the hell out of the synthesizer that they had.
It was really good. I love the colors. I come from playing Castlevania 2 and Xanadu and all these other like Metroidvania style games. I love the fact that when you talk to somebody, they're not fucking with you. Like, that was just such a common thing back then, is like, you talk to somebody and they'd give you useless information. Like, oh, what a nice day outside. Like, at least this, everyone you talk to is like, you should go here. You have to write it down and piece it together.
Yeah.
So before, as a kid, so I had the luxury of playing this as a kid. I liked the game because I liked the theme of it. I think as an adult, I like it more just because it's so hard and I can kind of see what they were going through. It was 3 people that put this together. And I think it bettered Zelda 2. How many people worked on Zelda 2? Zelda 2 had like shitty issues. It was confusing. It had a weird overworld system. Like, this game, I think, beat a Zelda game. And for that, like, it gets bonus points in my mind. What do you guys think about some Turbo Button?
Let's do it.
Turbo round. Let's get it going.
So, I had to rewrite all my Turbo questions because you fuckers didn't beat the game. So,
That's your fault.
this is what we're working with this time. I actually thought that I was generous in this game. I have a lot harder ones.
Matt, you are a
You
sadist.
would make a really good drill instructor.
I gotta get you fuckers in shape. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
Nick, we're going to go you first, because when I was editing the last podcast, it seemed like you were really quick with the answers, and I know John's been hitting the boxed wine hard. So,
Wicked hard.
I feel like we're going to go Nick first, then John. Ready? You got to say ready.
Ready, go.
Battle of Olympus or Zelda 2?
Zelda 2.
John?
Zelda 2.
God, you're fucking drunk. Battle of Olympus or Mega Man?
Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Battle of Olympus or getting kicked in the nuts?
Getting kicked in the nuts.
Battle of Olympus. I only got one
Side
nut.
scrollers? Save that one ball. Side scrollers or RPGs?
RPGs.
RPGs.
Hercules or Xena Warrior Princess?
Xena Warrior Princess.
Xena.
Olives, awesome or gross?
Awesome.
Gross.
John, you have the correct answer right there. Zeus, just a god with some needs or a serial rapist?
Serial rapist.
Rapist.
All right. John is an Olympian. He's a god. What is he the god of?
Fertility.
Interesting choice. It's definitely mischief.
Nick is an Olympian. What is he the god of?
Nick, are you going first?
Depression.
What? Dude, you're taking a dark turn. You're the happiest
you need
fucker
help.
I know, man. What
Relaxation. I don't know what the fuck would it, I don't know what I'd be a god of.
The god of depression?
Was it pretty emo?
the hell? Oh, man. No, dude.
You're fucking diagonal bang.
Yeah. You're the god of ambivalence, man. You're like the happiest dude I know. You're just whatever.
Oh, man. I got to move on from that. I'm gonna cry,
that was
I think.
fucking nuts.
All right. You transform into an animal to seduce your wife. What are you?
A frog.
You're going backwards on the tried and true standard, huh? Oh, man. A puma.
All right. Penis up my
Wasn't
ass?
Zeus came out as a swan to one of the mortal girls, I think.
From what I read, because I did some research on these turbos to kind of do an aside, he banged a girl as a swan. He banged a girl as a bull. They phrase it as seduces, but really they mean raped. He banged a girl as an ant. Like an ant. He knocked up a chick as an ant.
My frog, you guys chided at my frog, and yeah, Zeus was an ant.
Well, it's not what's it? Not the size of the wand. It's how you use it, or the motion of the ocean, whatever the line is, right?
Come on, man. You got to have some pretty big motion with an ant penis.
He's hung like a cricket.
Heard that before.
Oh, all right. Chained to a rock, having your liver eaten out for all eternity by an eagle, or chained to a burning wheel for all eternity.
Liver. Rock and liver. Yeah, definitely.
Burning wheel. I like fire, and my liver's fucked anyways, so.
Fuck it, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one for you. Birthing a child out of the axe wound in your head, or cutting off your dad's penis and eating your children.
What the fuck?
I go, so that's how, who was it birthed from?
Oh my god,
that's two ways that kids from Zeus were born.
Yeah, well, Athena was born out of Zeus's head because they hit him in the head with an axe. And Cronus, Zeus's dad, he cut off his dad's dick because he didn't want, I can't remember what it was. He castrated his dad, and then he ate all his children because he didn't want them to kill him.
You take this shit to the next fucking level, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, you've got to choose.
Nick's got to choose first.
Oh god, axe to the head.
Yeah, axe to the head. That other thing, man, I don't know if I could do that. That's really weird.
That'll be some emotional scarring, I'd say.
Well, all right, and then the last one. Here's some emotional scarring for you both. You're going to have sex with a centaur or a minotaur. You pick.
Centaur.
You know, I think I'd pick the centaur too. I mean, you're banging a horse technically, but you're making out with a chick during it, so I guess that's better, right? Minotaur, you just got bull slobber all over your face.
And plus, like like you said, you have the top half of the woman, then you have the bottom half of a horse. The Minotaur, you have a top half of a bull and a bottom half of a woman. What do you prefer? Top or bottom?
That's the stuff of nightmares. I mean, maybe if the bull is like a double bagger, you could just like put a bag over its head. Like, I'm not going to realize that's a bull.
Put a double bag and a Playboy in the back.
I mean, if it's a centaur, then all your friends are going to make fun of you. Like, oh, look at homeboy. He fucked a horse. Like, no, I didn't. I fucked a centaur. I'm like, yeah, which half did you fuck? Like, let's be serious. Well, that's it for the Turbo Button round. And that's it for this episode. Hopefully next time we'll come back and we'll actually all have played the game.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we got to get...
I think I know what I want for the next game, guys.
Oh, boy.
I think I might know. It's going to be a long one.
Good. What are we
platform?
Playing? We're going to do Game Boy Color.
Okay. All right.
And we're going to do an RPG.
It starts with a P, doesn't it?
It does.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do a Pokemon Crystal.
Oh.
Okay.
Tell me more, Nick. Tell me about Pokemon Crystal.
Well, I figure with Pokemon Crystal, we get the kind of both worlds. It's a combination of the silver and the gold that came out. It was also probably my second... Well, I played Pokemon Silver, but I always liked Pokemon Crystal because you can get at least one of the three dogs in a sense. And it was just a good game all around because you had both worlds, kind of like Pokemon Yellow was. It has its own battery for game save, so it was just a game I'd actually never owned, but I always wanted to play, and I only played it with my friend. Like, I borrowed it once and I played it. Game Boy Color game. Loved it to death, and still I think one of my favorite of the generations for Generation 2.
So here's a question for you.
Yep.
I was thinking about this at work. We got to have some way to come up with, if we could talk offline out of the podcast, to come up with how many episodes we need for a certain thing. Like, if a game can be beaten in under 6 hours, 1 episode. If a game needs more than 6 hours but less than like 12, 2 episodes. You know,
good call. Yeah,
something like that. So when we do, I want to do Final Fantasy VII at some point.
Yep,
that's a 3 episode. Like that's.
I mean, Pokemon depends on how we can play it. So I guess what set rules do you want to just, if we want to play it where you're just getting through the game and just be going through gyms as fast as you can. I think that's probably the best way, because if we devote as much time, honestly, I could probably put a good 80 hours into a game.
All right. Well, I think if we actually stick to the 2-week schedule, which we're actually really shitty at, that'll limit how long we can spend on this game.
Yeah.
So
by the way, should we cut off our recordings?
I guess just closing statements. Anything from you two?
Yeah. Keep it retro and game on.
John?
Drink wine, avoid Hades.
I was hoping you both would be like, fuck this game. That would have been a great ending. Like, fuck this game.
Fuck this game. Well, Jesus, Joseph and Mary.
I love Greek mythology, but this game totally rammed it up my butthole. So I'm done for now. Don't need Greek mythology for a while.
Peace.